When we first stepped into the cabin, it felt really gross. It was really gross. There are dead leaves, a broken window, missing ceiling in the bathroom, hundreds of cobwebs, and a musty smell. But we needed a place to call our own, somewhere that was home with a capital H. We weren't handed a home, but we knew we had to make one. And when the family gave us this opportunity, to restore what was called the bunkhouse, we decided to give it a shot and call it the Cabina. The first days were all about cleaning out the forgotten and left behind stuff. There was layers to everything. There was layers of dirt, layers of dust, layers of time. There were also a bunch of animal droppings and squirrels, nut stashes, half-built bird nests, leaf pile things, and bugs, lots of bugs, dead and alive. We found old photo albums, curtains that were stiff with filth, and mystery tools that we're still not even sure how to use. As we worked, the place got cleaner and the air changed, and we were like, hey, let's make an air filter to help refresh the air in the place. We kept the doors open as much as possible to start letting sunlight back in. We disinfected all the surfaces and peeled back what didn't belong anymore. The old mildewy rug was gone, and there was a lot of undercarpet to clean out, and there are still a lot of tacks and staples to remove. When our lease ended, we moved into a tent just outside, a little nylon home for the time being. We got to know the cabin more as we continued to clean it, and we started to notice the smell of the wood, of these pine panels that are currently the walls. We got to notice the way the light travels through the windows over the course of the day, and which parts of the floor grow underfoot. The cabin's character was slowly revealing itself to us, telling us its own story. Its former life was not as a primary residence. It was more of a community center, and we got to learn about that with each person we met would tell us a little bit about their memories of the place and of the previous owners. Over time, we started to think a bedroom could be made in this corner and an office space for both of us could work in the kitchen corners, and we began to imagine what a cozy home could take shape here. All we needed was a color palette, maybe some lamps, and some natural texture, and baby, you got a stew. The front yard had its own share of discoveries. There were wild strawberries and there were snakes. And the full sunlight that bathed the front yard was finally reaching all of my sun-starved houseplants, albeit a little too much sun for some of them. And our two pups were pleased to have so much room to roam, almost too much room for one of them. They are but city dogs and know not how to conduct themselves in the countryside. Next, we started clearing the yard too, raking, pulling, and trimming. We needed space to breathe, and to be honest, the work was a little therapeutic. After getting laid off from my job, leaving our apartment, I was more depressed than ever, and I was scared. This whole project was being supported by my mom and my family, and well, I just didn't know how to project how this will go. There was a fog that filled my head most of the time, and I found it hard to care about a lot of stuff. But out here, I think I started to care a little bit again about things, about the little things like clean water and a nice breeze, warm blankets on cold tent nights, and hot tea in the morning. caring from a place of curiosity and purpose instead of just like burnt out stress. Felt like a new sprout coming out of the soil. It hasn't been easy overall. I mean, most of our savings are gone, and we've had many new stressors to worry about, and there are still a lot of splinters in the plan, both literal and emotional. But our goal is to shed the unnecessary stressors and to slow down enough to see ourselves again. I read somewhere that healing from burnout isn't just about rest, it's also about relearning how to meet your basic needs with compassion. And that's what we're trying to do out here. Learn how to live again, simply, and joyfully, and gently, slowly, softly, all those words. We still have so much work ahead. Ceiling repairs, new installation, replacing the window pane, and critter proofing because I still swear there are squirrels in the attic. New flooring, and some appliances, what we can get by with for a couple of months at least. But we also have a mini garden forming, and my sister let us borrow one of her grills, and so now we have an excuse to make s'mores and lots of room to walk our dogs, which they really do need. We also picture what it will look like in the future, what our goal aesthetic is like, with a deck and twinkle lights and seating and outdoor bug-proofed areas. Uh, Maybe a kitchen that has like a little partition so that we can still see it, but it's a little separated from our office area, and cozy reading nook by the windows. And maybe one day, I hope, a nice big party to bring all this hard work to a sweet, happy ending. The first month here has taught us to move slower and to pay attention, and to listen when the wind picks up, to let the cabin speak before we rush in with new blueprints. We're learning to work with it and not against it, to honor the spirit of what it once was and still could be. And more than anything, this project is reminding me of what it feels like to care again. To make something not because it's profitable or going to be perfect, but because it matters to us. If you're watching this, thank you. This video took a lot longer to make than I expected, but that's kind of the theme lately, letting things take the time that they need. We'll be back soon with the month 2 update. There's already so much to share. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram at Cabina_Cabana and subscribe to this YouTube channel to come along for the whole ride. We're just getting started.